So one of the biggest challenges for people out there is overload of information. There are so many headline clickbait articles in terms of what the market's doing. How do you possibly know how to make a decision? Well, I'll tell you, you go to the source, you look at the data, and you talk to people that are in the streets to get the most live, up-to-date information. I'm Justin Conacher, one of the owners of Prime Real Estate. We have one of the best teams on the planet. We do residential investment, new construction, commercial. So we do see it all. And we're gonna jump into a quick market update for you guys, show you what we're seeing, and hopefully it better equips you to execute and find success in the world. Only thing that we ask is you hit that like, that subscribe button, drop it in the comments, ask me what you wanna know. We will be your boots on the ground, we'll go source the information for you and then bring it back. So we'll make this short and sweet and we will value your time. So the first thing that people look at when they're looking at a market update is how many homes traded last month. You'll see articles going back to April to May that, oh my gosh, the real estate market came to a halt. They were talking about the number of active listings on the market. They were like half what they were the year previously. This month, they're actually up 3.4%. So there were 1,513 listings in our marketplace last June, and that's actually 3.4% above what was listed last year, which shows you that there's a big fervor happening in the marketplace. The other crazy stat is how many sales are happening compared to listings. 78% sales to new listing ratios means that you're well above the amount of listings that are hitting the marketplace, so there's a decline in the amount of inventory. Keep in mind, if you're out there in the marketplace, inventory is always going like this. You'll see in one area like 6 listings hit the market, a bunch of them sell, then maybe 1 in the marketplace. There's always these kind of peaks and valleys that happen with the inventory, and if you time those things right as a buyer, you can capitalize. If you time it right as a seller, you can capitalize as well. The overall average home price in our territory is $473,998. That is crazy considering, like, 5 years ago we were talking high 2s, low 3s. But to really get some perspective, average price increase from last year being 17.8% seems nuts. If you bought a property last year and you add 17% of value to it, you're gonna be very happy right now. But watch this, Elgin County was up 32.6%. And we can actually attest to that. We're doing the Landings Port Stanley project with Domus, sold out phase 1 in 2 weeks. Pre-construction, nothing even exists there yet. And we are halfway through phase 2. The single families haven't even launched yet. And we're putting buttons up on the board. That should be an indication and confidence in the Elgin market. The London market went up 19.3%, so even more than the 17.8. Middlesex 9.8, St. Thomas 8.5, and Strathroy 14.7. So even little old Strathroy is seeing an uptick in confidence, but we were on a call earlier today with a builder who's doing some stuff out there, and the smaller markets tend to react a little bit slower and maybe a couple months behind the larger markets, but when they see that confidence, they're looking for options. So some people are selling their house in the city for a little bit, moving out to the countryside. We're seeing migration to Port Stanley, Grand Bend. Very, very interesting to see what's happening in general. The other thing I did is I actually broke down 2 segments for you guys. So I kind of narrowed down into the city and I looked at price points, 300 to 500,000, and then 800 to like 1.2 million, which would be 2 big classifications of price ranges that you're gonna see people trading in. Everything that's sold in the 300 to 500 actually sold for 107% more than list price, which is actually significant. When you're talking 7% over value, you could be talking $30, $40, $50,000. We have seen trades $150,000 over asking price, but keep in mind, a lot of these properties were priced under what they're actually worth. So if I price a house at $580, it sells for $691, but the house was actually worth $650, technically it only sold 40 over what it was worth, but they just underpriced it by like a significantly higher amount. So the optics are very strange, right? And not everything is selling in multiples. You got to keep in mind that it's product specific. So if it is a certain price range on a certain product, doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be 18 buyers for it, especially not if you're underpricing the property by 30%, pitching it to people who never really had a shot at that property anyways. When I jump to the higher price range, the median is actually around 900,000, which is very different. It used to be, the average price point in the luxury home was in the 8, maybe 850 range. Average days on market, 47. The bulk of the inventory is actually already constructed. Again, I was talking to somebody earlier today and I asked them their opinion because they're signing a whole bunch of deals on some new construction product, and they said the consumers really want to see it. So when they finish building their spec houses or their design houses, typically 40 days after that is when the property will sell once it's staged, or people can get into it and feel it. Now, if you're a buyer out there, keep in mind you can get those products before they hit the market. So very frequently, if you catch a product early on, it's being built, maybe framed out, maybe you can get into it and get into that product before the price increases, because costs are going up. If you're in the trades, you're a builder or a developer, you know that the price of lumber is going up, the price of finding skilled trades, everything's going to be increasing over the next year as people are putting more and more pressure on the housing market. You know, you want to be able to manage your expectations, your clients' expectations, and just execute right. So always go back to the basics, look at what you're buying, look at the quality of the construction of the product, and then look at the location almost more than anything. Really what this should tell you is there's a lot of confidence in the market, there's a very high demand. It's not what it seems like when you're reading the news articles, and just mark my words, be very careful over the next 3 or 4 weeks. As these stats roll out, they're gonna tell you it's this fervor pitch, and all of a sudden people are gonna flood the market with inventory because all the sellers are gonna call their agents, let's list our house, and then there's gonna be more inventory than there was previously, which gives the buyers more clout and ability. So you gotta, again, be very tactical, right? Be able to act with micro speed, but macro patience. Hopefully you got some value from those stats. I'm not gonna ramble on and on, but if you want more concise information, feel free to reach out to me directly. We are here for you guys 24/7. We value your attention and everything you do for our community, so thank you for being part of our tribe.